All right then, the time has come for the Monday, December 17th, 2018, regular council meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Valcone. Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seager.
Present.
Alderman Mozio.
Here.
Alderman Villalobos.
Present.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Tempest.
Present.
Alderman May.
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present. Next, we're going to invite from Christian Faith Fellowship Church, located at 228 North County, Pastor Moten to lead us in prayer. Watch your head coming up. And from there, the young man with the bulldog hat on. Once you come out, you're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance right after, all right? You got green in it, though, everybody. We don't know. Right after the prayer. Everyone stand, please.
Father God, we thank you. And God, we praise you and we honor you. And God, we just thank you for this meeting. We ask that you have your way. God, we just thank you even for our leadership. You say for us to pray for those in authority, oh God, that they might lead a quiet and peaceable life. So we pray for our mayor, pray for our council, pray for all of our leaders. God, we pray for this great city and that you do great things in it. And God, we give you the glory, the honor, and the praise. We thank you for the great things you're going to do even now. God, we look to you, the author and the finisher. We bless you even now. And God, we thank you even for this meeting. Be glorified in it. And we'll give you all the glory, the honor, and the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Come on up there, man. Watch your head. The flag is right here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, welcome and thank everyone again for attending tonight's meeting. I want to begin by sending our thoughts and prayers to one of our own, Mr. Tony Kuval from Code Enforcement Department, and here on the podium, Mr. David Patterson, and the entire Kuval family of the passing of an uncle and a father. Second, this past Saturday, I had the distinct opportunity to watch the Waukegan Police Department hold its annual Shop with a Cop event. I just really, Chief Stevenson, I know you're out there. I want to thank all of those who participated, from the police department, the officers, their family, their children, Waukegan Walmart employees and leadership. They made it was a great day for those kids and their family. What an amazing operation that was. And I'm just gonna say this a little bit. I thought the Shop and the Cop was where the officers of the police department kind of dedicate or sponsor a family. That was the old way of doing it, right? Is that Chief D.C. Stevenson? The new way is they partner now with schools and social organizations to get names of families in need. And if I'm not mistaken, 80, was it 60 or 80? It was 80 families, but their goal was to get 100, working with schools and social organizations. What a remarkable event that was. So kudos to the entire police department and Walmart employees and leadership. It was just, blew my mind. Local hiring. Tonight's during the Finance Committee, we brought up for discussion a local hiring process. That at my urging and urging of aldermen, residents, we have been looking for ways to improve our bidding process. A number of years ago, I strongly supported the creation of an ordinance that set goals for contractors to hire a percentage of our workforce, mainly from Waukegan. But unfortunately, that ordinance has set goals that contractors are just not meeting. What we've instead proposed is an ordinance that I hope captures the essence of our city to promote diversity in our government contracts, minority-owned businesses, female-owned, veteran-owned, disabled persons-owned, to support our local businesses that bid, and to also keep project costs low. I appreciate the feedback of the community for driving these improvements. This is the time now that we need the input. We need you to come in with ideas that can make this thing the best for Waukegan while meeting the golden objectives of keeping these costs reasonable. Thank you again for that. I really, really appreciate it. And to the Alderman, thank you for your leadership. Upcoming events. Waukegan Park does have a few more pre-Christmas family activities, including holiday cookie making this Wednesday at the Belvedere Rec Center. Also, parents of 6 and 7-year-old sign your child up for free introductory swim classes covering water safety, swimming fundamentals, and pool rules. I think that's going to be the hard one, pool rules. Free classes began January 16th. The City of Waukegan Chamber of Commerce will host their business after hours and holiday party this Thursday, December 20th, at Spring Hill Suites in Fountain Square from 5 to 7 p.m. All business people are invited. Bring your business cards. Three Brothers Theater all ages show Santa Claus Conquers the Martians is performed live the next 2 Fridays and Saturdays. Tickets are available online and at the box office. Waukegan History Museum's free pop-up exhibit, Abraham Lincoln, a man of his time, a man for all times, is at Jack Benny Center for the Arts through January 19th. In addition to the exhibit, vote for your favorite Land of Lincoln photo taken by a local photographer every time you go to the Jack Benny Center for the Arts. Finally, January 1st is the 20th annual Polar Bear Plunge. Polar Bear Plunge. All proceeds go to Special Recreation Services for Lake County, helping individuals with disabilities participate in camps, athletics, and other programs. Disclaimer, the mayor is not jumping in. Technical difficulty. A presentation. I'm going to now invite the Battalion Chief of the Waukegan Fire Department, Battalion Chief Douglas, to come up to the podium to give some brief safety reminders for this holiday season. Battalion Chief.
The Waukegan Fire Department would like to offer the following safety tips to keep this season safe. Be careful with holiday decorations. Choose decorations that are flame resistant and bear the UL safety listing. Use caution not to overload circuits by connecting too many light sets at the same time. Keep lit candles away from decorations and other items that can burn. Candles should be placed on a sturdy surface and never left unattended. Nearly half of all holiday decoration fires are caused by candles. Space heaters need space. Use only UL listed space heaters. Ensure they are placed away from combustible items and only used within manufacturer's guidelines. Limit the use of extension cords. Do not overload extension cords and never run extension cords under rugs. Cooking is still the leading cause of home fires in the U.S. During the holiday season, as you cook for family and guests, remember to keep an eye on the stove. Heating is the second leading cause of fires. Ensuring furnaces are serviced by qualified personnel and space heaters are used safely, we can work together to prevent these fires.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you need any more information, feel free to call the mayor's office or the Waukegan Fire Department. Typically, I want to mention this, then I'm going to call up David Motley for a special presentation. But normally, we have what we call kudos. We mention these at department heads meetings. And this is where other departments or employees in other departments are doing some great things. And they receive feedback from the public. This one right here, I thought should be shared with all of us. It says, in the subject line says, "Find officers." My wife and I witnessed a great example of community policing at a McDonald's in your town. Officer Steele and Vasquez bought lunch for a woman in obvious distress from cold and hunger. They stayed with her and eventually called the paramedics to further assist her. Their selfless service is a much better example of our police officers' caring behavior and needs to be commended. Please inform your chief and the mayor, who needs to know these two fine officers work for the city of Waukegan. So kudos and a very attaboy to Officer Steele and Vasquez. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody. Waukegan Proud Awards. I'm asking Mr. David Motley to come on up, and you're in for an awesome treat with this young man. David?
So we have two tonight. Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you probably all know, I spend a significant amount of time in the community as a soccer coach and as an art mentor in the community, so I interact with young people on a regular basis, and I'm constantly inspired by the quality of service and dedication and belief in this community, as much as all of you in the dais here. So I wanted to highlight two specific young individuals this evening. So the first took it upon himself, a young man, to create an awareness campaign and also a video on how to use and interact with the new ADA compliant canoe and kayak launch at the Waukegan Harbor. And he's also doing it as his Eagle Scout badge. So if we could get Everett Chung to come on up here, Everett.
Yeah.
So we're going to try very hard to make sure that Jane Ferry will post this evening a link to his YouTube video on how to use the canoe kayak launch, because it's very specific, because it's ADA compliant. And hopefully we'll talk to our videographer to make sure that it's connected to our rebroadcast on YouTube and also on our cable station. So Everett, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you did this.
Okay, so my name is Everett Sean. I'm actually a resident from Waukegan, but I decided to do my Eagle project up here in Waukegan. I wanted to do something slightly different than what most people do for their Eagle project. And I decided to focus on the ADA kayak and canoe ramp because I'd been involved with helping people with disabilities before, and I was interested bringing awareness to this because it was something unique that I'd never seen before. So I came with the idea of creating this promotional video and a flyer to be able to inform others and raise awareness for not only the disabled community but also for the citizens of Waukegan. To have the information on how to use the ramp, why it's important, and just be able to spread awareness for people with disabilities. So,
I say this all the time about promoting our young men and young ladies. As we all know, sometimes what some of our young men and young ladies are doing that are positive does not always reach us. What we're trying to do right now is promote young men and young ladies and what they're doing in our community and what we want them to do to be successful in our society. You are that young man. I know your parents are here. And for that, sir, we are proud of you. And we're presenting you with the Waukegan Proud Award. So congratulations to you, sir. Mom and Dad, you coming up? I know you are.
Plus he's rocking the shorts, Mayor, look at that.
I love it. Man,
Kids don't wear coats anymore, it's crazy, I don't understand.
Oh, Alderman, you, yeah. That's, you can always put that alternate as well. I'm sorry. Are you ready? Look at his name.
Show off your certificate, Everett. Open up the,
There you go, right here, one more. Thank you.
it's Mom's turn.
You got it, Mom? All right, thank you. Thanks, Dad. Thank you, sir.
The Waukegan Harbor, located at 55 South Harbor Place in Waukegan, is an innovative area for the Waukegan citizens. There are many options for the citizens and anyone looking to get out on the water. Here, the citizens of Waukegan can use their boat, kayak, or canoe to go out and explore Lake Michigan. The harbor has a one-of-a-kind ADA kayak and canoe ramp, shown here, that allows people with disabilities to easily get in and out of the water. Here, we have someone who is using a wheelchair going down the ramp and onto the dock. The dock is equipped with wheels to allow the vessel to easily slide in and out by using the handlebars. There is a seat mechanism shown here that allows you to transfer from your wheelchair onto the seating area where you can use the pull-out seat. The pull-out seat is very useful and has two different heights, one for kayaks and one for canoes. The person can sit on the pull-out seat and put their legs into the kayak, shown here. Here, the person is using the handlebars to propel themselves into the water to go out for a paddle. Once done, the kayak can easily be pulled back into the dock using the same method. The person can then use the seat transfer to get back onto the seating area and eventually get back into their wheelchair. The ramp is purposely positioned near a parking lot to allow anyone easy access to the ramp. It takes just a short 2 minutes to get to the ramp and into the kayak. You will need someone to help you put the kayak or canoe into the ramp, but once you're in the kayak by using the seat helper, you're all good to go. Once in the kayak, you can enjoy a leisure paddle around and enjoy the beautiful weather that Lake Michigan and the Waukegan area has to offer. In this scenario, a person with crutches can also access the ramp just like anyone else. Even though the walkway to the ramp down is relatively steep, it is easy to manage. The ramp has signs to easily demonstrate how to use the device for those that are new to the ramp. The ramp is the only one on the west side of Lake Michigan and actually located on Lake Michigan, but not a lot of people know about it. In this instance, the person uses the same method as before and easily gets into and out of the water with little struggle. However, as we can see, the ramp is not only usable for the ADA community, but anyone can use the ramp. It makes getting in and out of the water much easier and safer, as there are no rocks or sharp glass possibly getting in the way. Anyone who wants to go out for a fish or take a paddle out on the water can do so free of charge as long as they have their own kayak or canoe. Here, Mr. Bob Swanson, a member of Glossa and an active wheelchair sports participant, is using the ADA kayak and canoe device. He uses his upper body strength to put him onto the seating area, where he can then transfer himself into the kayak. Remember to always wear a life vest and know the conditions before going out into the water. Mr. Swanson and Holden Chung both use the handlebars to put themselves into the water and go out for a paddle. They then bring themselves in and Mr. Swanson is able to get out of the kayak with ease. The device allows everybody easy and quick access to Lake Michigan and offers those in the ADA community an option for physical therapy or an activity to do in their free time. Without the device, many members of the ADA community and people in general would not go out on the water. A special thank you to the Waukegan Harbor Citizens Advisory Group, who helped fund and advocate for the ADA kayak and canoe ramp. Without them, this ramp wouldn't exist, and the opportunity for the ADA community wouldn't exist either.
Yeah, just wait there, Mayor. That's pretty good. The next person, he didn't expect he was coming tonight to get this award. He also didn't expect he was going to lead us in the pledge. He's seated in the audience over there. You probably recognize him. That's Austin Cantu. He was also selected as Homecoming King this last homecoming, so he's kind of a celebrity in the works, right? So this young man, come on up here right now. Keep it real, Austin. So Austin Cantu. Here's what's going on with Austin. Austin, I've known him for probably, 4 or 5 years as a little lad. He's an artist. He's adopted Jim Harrington's art park in downtown Waukegan. He also mobilized a number of cleanups related to the South Genesee area, so he helps keep the place clean, of which I really enjoy because that's kind of how I was raised up, right? And he also mobilized a group of volunteers to donate time, talent, and treasure to decorate South Genesee Street, and he's a testament to what we're trying to do as a community and as the leaders. Here's a young leader right here, and hopefully someday he aspires to be the mayor of this fine town. He's also a proud bulldog, as you can see.
Really. That's all. We're extremely proud of you. What you're doing. I can tell you, the guys who are up here, this is how you start going to be up on this, around here being leader. All right? Congratulations to you. You have to be proud of it. All right? Here we go.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I can't get my computer up.
You know what? We'll stick with the grain on the bulldog, but we'll be all right. All right. Minutes. We have a motion by Alderman Villalobos, second by Alderman Taylor, to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, December 3rd, 2019. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Item 3, audience time. Madam Clerk.
All right. We have 3 minutes. No profanity. This is GP. G. Jack Greenberg.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, audience, hello. My name is Jack Greenberg. I live in the 6th Ward. Mr. Larry Tenpass is my alderman. And I would like today to add my condolences on the passing of your wife. Mr. Tenpass sometimes visited the men's ecumenical breakfast and Bible study at Bob and Ann's restaurant. And last Thursday, we were remembering Larry in our prayers. Mayor Cunningham spoke so thoughtfully of you at the last meeting. I've lived in Waukegan for 36 years, and I like Waukegan. The streets are clean. They're almost free of potholes. I feel safe. I don't have to worry about crime. The new traffic signal poles and marking signs are a fine example of how great Waukegan looks. The handicap access ramp up to the Daniel Drew complex makes me proud to live in Waukegan. As the Finance Committee knows too well, running a great city such as ours costs a lot of money. I read in the New Sun that to raise the money, the mayor requested a tax increase, but the alderman voted to keep the rate the same. In my opinion, the city's budget should cover the city's expenses. It's only prudent to do so, even if that means raising taxes. As the mayor said, we can do things now or we can do things later, and I choose to do them now. But be that as it may, our elected officials don't like to increase taxes because it upsets the voters. The aldermanic primary is in February of next year. My point is this: it takes courage to choose to do the right thing, even if it's not the popular thing. Therefore, I commend Mayor Sam Cunningham for requesting revenue to balance the budget. According to the protocol of titles, an elected official, once given the title of honorable, is always an honorable. When he mentioned taxes, Mayor Cunningham was not playing politics, not only thinking about the next election, he was being honorable. And for this honest and honorable approach to revenue, I have to say thank you. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. John Gaskill from the Public Library.
Mr. Mayor, Alderman, City Council, of course, everyone in the audience, thanks for, again, being such a lively crowd every time I have an opportunity to come and see one of these fantastic meetings. I was asked by our Executive Director to remind folks in the audience and, of course, our esteemed leadership that we are closed at the library on the 23rd, which is a Sunday, Monday the 24th, Tuesday the 25th of December, as well as Sunday, we're closing early, or I'm sorry, we're closed on Sunday the 30th of December. The 31st, we're closing early, New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day will be closed. As I take a great deal of pride in being a steward of the public trust, that's something that we learn early on in working in public libraries, and Selena and I both can speak from experience that we are very, very interested in keeping things in check and being very frugal with what we have, and so therefore thank you to everybody for supporting the library all these years. This is a very valuable institution in the community. I brought some numbers. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 adult learners learning, 11 people meeting, 10 teens a-tweeting, 9-year-olds a-reading, 8th graders Googling, 7 staff a-shelving, 6 movie book music orders, 5 story times, 4 hold requests, 3 school groups, 2 book displays, and a card from your local public library. It's the most valuable card in your wallet. So I wish you all happy holidays and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mary Blair Moore.
Mayor, Councilman. In July 1954, Lyndon B. Johnson put in place the Johnson Amendment. In essence, the amendment was made a part of the IRS tax code to prevent churches and other nonprofit organizations from making tax-free political contributions and becoming a part of PAC. With respect to its specific application to pastors, they are somewhat prohibited from supporting opposing political candidates from the pulpit only. To be clear, the Johnson Amendment cannot trump a pastor's First Amendment constitutional right to express themselves in other public civic forums, as the local clergy did at the city council meeting. Note, Pastor Gass said, and I quote, in reference to our mayor, "I was your biggest supporter and cheerleader." He did not say Mount Zion or my church was. As another popular point to consider regarding the Johnson Amendment, Lyndon Johnson was Dr. King's contemporary, and actually he was the one who signed the Civil Rights Act, Executive Order 112246. Dr. King is the only civilian in U.S. history to have a memorial on the wall in Washington, D.C., not because of his work accomplishments as pastor, for many don't know he was connected to Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. The memorial is for his work in the area of civil rights, social justice, economic equality. Actually, most of his struggles were those involving the law and politics, that is, Jim Crow, equal employment, etc. In fact, the week that he died, he wasn't in Memphis, Tennessee to preach. He was there to fight for the economic wages of the striking garbage men. When we consider all of this, Alderman May has the right to speak her mind. Factually, she was wrong on the issues of the rule of law as well as the role of pastors within the community and society. Lastly, she was culturally wrong on the role of the African American clergy within their communities and how it may differ from the mainstream Catholic and other many Protestants. Actually, I also understand that she was even wrong about how towing works in the city of Waukegan. Many tows are abandoned vehicles, accidents, etc. And contrary to what the alderman said, the owners don't specify who they want to tow their vehicle. Usually the attending officer makes the call to the police dispatcher, and dispatcher calls the approved tow companies, which is Whitmore and Wecker, based on the geographical areas they have been assigned by the mayor. This unfortunate thing about what
Thank
she
you,
did,
Ms. Moore. Thank
she
you.
spoke as a legislator, and
Thank
that
you.
matters to us.
Yvette Ewing?
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and awesome heroes from the community. I'm Yvette Ewing from the Fuller Center for Housing Hero Project, Lake County. We partner with the city on multiple projects in housing, but today I'm here for a very special purpose. The mayor gave me a challenge this summer, and I understand it's been a family tradition with the Cunningham family to start collecting. As a mother of 4, my kids contributed to somebody's hat and scarf and glove fund for a long time. 4 kids, we lost hats, gloves, coats, you name it. But he challenged us. He says, we need to help some of those kids who can't afford to buy them anymore. He says, so we basically started a campaign. What we've been doing in the community is our goal. I moved here being stationed at Fort Sheridan and fell in love with Waukegan. And I'm a veteran, and I've served my country, and I love my city. So I chose to build my organization here to be able to celebrate the heroes, the good things that are in our community. I don't choose to focus on the negative. Let me figure out the right things and tell the good news of what's going on. So when we got this challenge, we opened it up to our constituents, and as of last weekend, Congressman Brad Snyder brings a lot of his friends. We get an annual party for him every year for the last 4 years. We host it. He helped us get grant funding to build out that space. Mayor Cunningham comes to come visit us, and people start bringing stuff. This is just one box. We have donated probably 25 coats because of your little challenge you gave me, Mr. Mayor. I got gloves and hats and scarves for kids, and the goal is to adopt a school. We are challenging the community. Find a school, collect for those kids, to be able to give those schools hats and gloves to the kids on the playground who don't have anything. As of last week, this little challenge, we dressed, if you see a young man walking down Waukegan with a hat on and earmuffs and 3 scarves and gloves of different colors and sizes, is a homeless vet with mental illness who came into our facility to help volunteer to earn some money that day. When he saw the bags and bags of coats, he has 2 coats. He got mink earmuffs, he just put it all on. How can I say no? But I'm just saying, thank you for the challenge, Mayor. We got a chance to really bless one who served our country, and he's walking around warm and smiling because of your challenge. So the box is going to be here. We'll continue to be, these will be somewhere in City Hall. Continue to drop off, or at 141 South Genesee. We want to help make sure, we're calling this our Be a Winter Hero, to be able to bless a young kid or a family just with some warmth of love from our community. So thank you for the challenge, Mayor, and we're happy to receive it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Margaret Carrasco.
Thanks, Yvette. Ronell.
Yeah, it's picture time. So I have a picture here. I made some copies for everyone. I happened to go to the Thornton's gas station in the 3rd Ward. And what to my surprise, I find out there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaming machines in that site. Not only that, this place is open 24 hours. So I'm just here just to share some informational things that perhaps our residents are unaware of. I was unaware that any site was open 24 hours for gaming. According to the Illinois Gaming Board video report, this site, this Thornton's gas station in the 3rd Ward on Grand and Green Bay, just in the month of November, had the municipality share, the city made $3,754 off of it. Okay. But what was more, what I was alarmed at was, guess how much Waukegan residents spent just in the month of November at just that one gas station in the 5 gaming machines. According to the data from the state, $806,000, 239, almost $1 million. So Mayor, I'm here tonight to ask you, how many other businesses were given the same opportunity to have 5 gaming machines? I know most of them have 3, and I am aware that they raised it to 5, and about changing it to 24 hours. This is the only one that I'm aware of. Maybe I'm incorrect in that. So the next thing is that, 3 things tonight. I was at a Waukegan Port Authority meeting in which he addressed publicly in regards to the board of directors. And I just about fell off my chair with the statement he made. And I don't know if you're aware of this. He publicly stated that you told him that the requirement for, and just to fill people in, if you're not aware, 3 of the appointees are by the governor of the state, and 4 are appointed by the mayor. That you didn't feel the need that, I'm just going to paraphrase something like, you didn't find any Waukegan resident that was qualified to be on the board, therefore you didn't have a problem if they got rid of that requirement for Waukegan residents, for 4 of them to be on the board. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Carrasco.
And this Sunday, Latino organizations are toy drive.
Thank you. Wayne Taylor.
And before Wayne comes, just for clarification, the Thorntons on Granite Avenue is considered a truck stop. So it's not regulated by the city. That's, so just clear. And we can, let's do it offline, Bob. Offline, we can give you that, or believe me, we oppose that, but I can give you that ordinance and then you can take it to the state. All right? Thank you. I'm sorry about that, Wayne, but I want to clear that up for the
problem.
public. And Emma, you already know about that already, I think, right? That law. All right. Thank you. Mr. Taylor?
Wayne Taylor, the Ninth Ward. I'm here to speak because of comments you made, Mayor, at the end after Alderman time last week. A group from the Ninth Ward, Regency Woods, on the south end of Oak Lane Road came to speak about their property taxes. You told them that they got their information from Facebook, told them that 60 to 70% of their bill went to the schools, and that Waukegan only accounted for 20% of their bill. In the graphic that I passed out there, you can see 59% of the property taxes go to the schools, 22% go to the city. Not far off, but that's your tax bill from the Waukegan Township. That's not their tax bill. They didn't come to protest your taxes. They came to protest their taxes. And so, first of all, the second graphic that's in the package I sent out there is something they prepared. It shows the property taxes for the last 10 years, or 12 years, for each of the aldermen. And one of the things about it is you can see that the taxes went up or down very differently depending on where you lived in the city. 6 aldermen saw their taxes go down during that 12-year period. 3 went up. And not one alderman up here, taxes went up as much as the residents in Regency Woods. They have been affected much more than any other part of the city. And so the third thing is a graphic that outlines their reality of how much their taxes go to. 49% go to the schools, 40% go to Waukegan. These are both things that they stated. Now the 40% they say went to Waukegan, 30% goes to the city of Waukegan, and 10% goes to the Park District. But those are all taxes they pay because they live in Waukegan. A member of the school board from Regency Woods wrote, I can speak to the fact that many people have also come to us at the school board meetings as well to discuss the tax problem. As you know, however, the biggest tax problem for over the last 10 years have come from Waukegan. Now, back to Waukegan Township. In Waukegan Township, we raised the property taxes 6%, the levy on 22% of the bill. Multiply those two together, and you will find that's greater than the 2.2% on 59% of the tax bill, that the single largest contributor to this year's tax increase is the city of Waukegan. Now, this is both misinformation and deflection, and I would obviously feel much better if we just had an honest discussion and facts were presented as part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Esther Heron.
My name is Esther Herra. I am part of the steering committee for the Waukegan Comprehensive Plan, and I noticed serious behaviors from many residents. I think the best comprehensive plan, it won't work if we don't change the behavior of the residents in Waukegan. For example, I am a pedestrian, and I notice there is no consideration and respect for us. City authorities and police officers don't enforce the obedience of certain rules. Probably it's because many of them don't live in Waukegan, and probably also because we are a small group. For example, there is no respect even in Genesis Street and Water Street when a pedestrian is crossing. Tickets are not given to these drivers. They continue driving straight despite that there is a pedestrian crosswalk, and the pedestrian has to back up to let the car to continue and not to be hit. Second, there are many pedestrians that dump garbage in the sidewalk, causing the street look chaotic, and also most of the sidewalks are narrow to evade the messy trash. Third, citizens walking the dog with our plastic bag, leaving the remnants of the dog's activities in sidewalks. They use the city empty lots as dogs park. It harbors a lot of viruses, bacteria, and parasites, and pedestrians cause to give a bad appearance. to Waukegan and also for pedestrians to walk and cause a greater impact in the environment. For residents develop business in their houses and they don't pay taxes. Where I live, there are 5 houses, and the other day I counted 32 cars because they sell cars, fixed cars, and in the apartment where I live, the second floor, they start a business, and then ripping off boxes and nailing 24/7, causing noise and interrupting our sleep. They don't pay taxes because this is an apartment. At night, some residents park the cars in the sidewalk until they go to work the next morning. I have seen 3 vans parked in the city empty lot in Belvedere with Genesee, damaging the grass. Everybody see them, but nobody do anything. It's important to fix not only the street, but sidewalks. I fall twice in a week because the sidewalks are bumpy. I wonder where the police officers that give tickets are. I asked one of them the procedure for this type of situations, and he answered that the guy that gives the tickets and didn't finish the sentence, and I asked no police officer
Thank you, Ms. Aaron.
to place
Thank you.
tickets. He
Thank
said-
you so much. Appreciate it.
He said that they
Thank
do only
you.
during the day.
I'd like to call up Mr. Elder James Snowden, please.
Good evening, everyone. Last time when I was up here, I used some language, and I'd like to apologize if I offended anyone by the language that I used. I was speaking not out of emotion, I was speaking out of feeling. It was truly the way that I felt. So I want to apologize for that, because I think it's a misunderstanding that people think that when we come up here as clergy, that we're attacking individuals. No, we're not doing that. We're attacking the behavior. A friend of mine sent me some cotton, and when I came up here last week, that's what it took me back to. It took me back to when we as black people had to pick cotton and we didn't get anything for it. And that's why I think a lot of the ministers were kind of emotional by the behavior of you, my brother. Because we wasn't attacking you, we were attacking the behavior. We love you. Make no mistake of that. We love you. It wouldn't be right for us to single you out because we recognize that it's a panel of people who make decisions. And all our governments are set up in 3 tiers. So we understand that, those that are clergy, because we understand kingdom. But still, though, my brother, this is blatant what this guy has did with this towing company. It's just blatant. You know, one time you make a mistake, okay, you learn from it. But then you repeat the thing again, and then the man that we elected to be mayor over the citizens, Brother Sam, all the people want is the mayor that you swore to on that night when you swore into office. Elected officials, all the people want you to do is be the electees that they elected to represent them. All this here personal stuff of Virginia's, vendettas, and all that stuff, it's not doing the city any good. It's not doing the people any good. The reason I bring this cotton, because I remember as a little boy in Waukegan, the fight for black people were jobs and equality and fairness. This is 2018. We should not even be having a conversation about this injustice, so forth, as employment. It should even be a discussion. This is something that we should be able to, Mr. Mayor, make a phone call and have it handled. My daughter asked me, said, why is it when black people get in positions of authority?
Thank you, sir. Thank
they
you. I
operate
appreciate
with power,
that.
but
Thank
they
you,
have
sir.
no authority.
Thank you. Mr. Ralph Peterson.
Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to give you aldermen. Can you please pass this down now? Okay, and to you aldermen, I'd like to say you cannot say you did not know, and with very little research, you will be able to know even more. And I guess we'll discuss that at a later date. Okay, as I stand here tonight, my thoughts are that of President Obama and gasoline price gouging. Also, Donald Trump comes to mind in terms of gouging with the trade agreement. Both of these men took an oath, so as this council has taken, to serve, govern, and protect the citizens that elected them from such gouging. This is the second time I've come before you, Mayor, with credible findings that the black and brown community have fallen victims to corrupt towing companies. My first warning fell on deaf ears. Now I'm asking that this entire council show us that the black and brown community matters. You've had 2 weeks to look into this corrupt misconduct, and we are expecting for those who we elected to protect, serve, and govern over us. We're expecting some time. I'm gonna even stay at the whole meeting tonight, which is something I never do, because I want to hear some kind of language on that very negative misconduct receipt that I gave you guys last week. And to not speak on this matter is clear and evident that the black and brown community does not matter. There's no way in the world I should be able to give you a receipt where a man should have been charged $250 and he was charged $1,000. And what's even worse, that it's in his background that he was terminated for doing the same. There's no way this should be happening. I'm gonna piggyback off of Elder Snowden. This is 2019. I mean, is anybody looking out? I mean, I don't just wanna, like, if no one else counts, but is anybody looking out for the black and brown community? I truly believe if this had happened in an all-white neighborhood, oh my God, all hell would have, oops, shouldn't say that, all heck would have broke loose. And this is not right. This is not right. As the elder said, the first time, I made a mistake.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
But
Thank
the
you.
second time,
Thank you. Mayor, that concludes audience time.
All right, thank you. All right. Oh, okay. All right, this time, item 4. All right, this time, everybody, we're going to have a 10-minute, is it 10 or 15, whatever, 10 no more than 15-minute presentation by the Lake County Coalition for the Homeless. Come to the podium and please watch your head when you go through there. Okay. A motion is not required. Everyone received the summary, correct?
Yes.
Everybody should have, on all of them, received the summary?
Is one microphone enough, Matt?
We have another.
Yeah, we'll share.
We have another one right
We
here.
have another one.
Sure.
Hello, my name is Matt Tabor, retired school superintendent in Lake County, and Jim Menzer is also retired school superintendent in Lake County. We currently work part-time for the Regional Office of Education with the McKinney-Vento homeless program to make sure that homeless children are able to get into school. That's how we got involved in the Lake County Coalition for the Homeless. And we last met with you folks in May, I believe it was, and talked about putting together a comprehensive report on homelessness within Waukegan and in Lake County. And you all have copies of that, and we'd like to share some of those results with you this evening. So, have we got the slides? Put on the one on the statistics, please.
You can take that mic out if you'd like, sir. You can pull it out.
See
So I just want to share with you some of the information we have on statistically where we are with homelessness. Now, this is a national report, entire United States, as of January 2018, when the last point in time was taken. 552,000 folks were homeless in this country. 38,000 of those were veterans. By the way, the veterans has declined by about a half since 2010 because of a lot of programs there. 56,000 families, and that was a 29% decline since 2010. These numbers up here, if you can see them, are Lake County statistics of folks that we know are homeless, and it's 1,300 folks are involved there. Over 50% of that number are claim Waukegan as their last residence. This does not include the 1,200 school-age children in Lake County who Jim and I work with. They're not in this count. Many of those are doubled up and live with parents or family or friends. Over 500 of those are in Waukegan. Okay, I think we're ready to go.
So we were asked to intervene on issues that affected the pad site on 1800 Grand Avenue in the city of Waukegan. The way we did that was to listen to all the parties that were involved. So we did that, and I'll explain who we listened to in just a second. We analyzed that data and compiled research based on other cities that have the same issues. And we developed some findings and recommendations, which we're going to talk about today. We wrote a report, and most importantly, we devised a way to implement the recommendations that we will have made.
Yeah.
Writing a report, having it sit on a shelf and collect dust, or looking at a PowerPoint that's pretty, or listening to me talk does nothing. But action taken does, hopefully. Next. In our listening sessions, we first met with the Waukegan City Services, police department, fire department, all city services, listened to their concerns. And the concerns were that the city services felt that they spend an inordinate amount of time working with those people that are in the homeless situation. Many of them PADS clients. We also met with the PADS staff. PADS stands for Public Action to Deliver Shelter. And the PADS site on 1800 Grand is the central clearing point for all people who are seeking shelter. Not just those that are homeless in Waukegan, but those that are homeless throughout our county. The next group was the residents and business owners. We met with them at the Chuck Wagon. The mayor helped referee that activity, and we heard their concerns. And their concerns are that homeless people sometimes don't act right, perhaps. They may also impede businesses by loitering, getting in the way of paying customers, that sort of thing. And those were the issues that were raised in that meeting. Also, neighbors around the PADS site on 1800 Grand had complaints about loitering, people not really behaving the way they should, things of that nature. We also met with the only family agency to serve homeless people, the Staben House. And lastly, we met with PADS clients. These are people who use the PADS services and who are homeless. We went to Foss Park and met with about 24 people who use PADS sites and also sleep in that facility during the summer months. Many hold jobs. Many have different activities that they participate in during the day. And what we did when we met with each of these groups is simply listen. We didn't make any judgment. We didn't tell them that they had incorrect information. We just listened.
From the
findings.
From the data that we collected, we came up with 3 findings, and you, again, have those in the packet that you have there. Finding number 1, misinformation contributes to tension among stakeholders. This doesn't mean that stakeholders are incorrect in their, but if they are offering an opinion that maybe data does not support, we think it's important that we establish communication among all of the stakeholders to make sure that we have correct information when people have concerns or how resources are delivered, that we're talking the same talk and we understand what the real issues are.
Can you give an example? I can give an example. For example, some of the business owners complained that homeless people were interfering with their business, and they attributed that to PADS clients on weekends. Well, when we spoke with the PADS staff, PADS is closed on the weekends. So it very well could have been a homeless person that was loitering or panhandling, but it wasn't a PADS client. That's the kind of misinformation.
I'm Dr. Schwab. My office is in that area. I'm very aware that's not correct. And I'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay, but they aren't open on weekends.
Again, we just want to make sure that we know that there is misinformation, and we want to correct that misinformation so we don't have issues like this that come up, so we ended up in a debate with that rather than trying to resolve the problems. Finding 2, Jim?
It's still an issue, no doubt about it. Finding 2, neighborhood safety and appearance are shared concerns. If the area looks bad, maybe it is bad. So the recommendation was, of course, to immediately address safety and the neighborhood appearance posed by the community members. They're correct. We needed to clean up.
Finding number 3 actually states that there's not enough affordable housing for all in Lake County, and there aren't enough services for all of those folks that need them. There are not enough resources available, obviously, for all, but by working together, we think that we can connect those resources that are available and be more effective at reaching out to those folks that need those resources. We'll work with the coalition and the city and anybody else who will help us to make sure that we get the services that are necessary.
Some of the things that have been accomplished so far, maybe as a result of our report or maybe as a result of our pointing these issues out, is first of all, the Waukegan Housing Authority has secured 28 more housing vouchers. That means 28 people that weren't housed are now. The PAD staff has committed to neighborhood cleanups and has assigned people and volunteers to work on cleaning up the neighborhood. PADS has begun to hold forums and summit events to increase awareness and to communicate with their constituency in the neighborhood, to attempt to become a better neighbor. And increased partnership with the Waukegan Police Department has helped those in need also. The relationship between the police department and the PAD staff has improved.
So these are some action items that we think can be done. This is not a complete list. This is not a comprehensive list. This is not an ending list. It's just some thoughts we have based on the data that we have gathered. And that is communication with coalition and PADS, some trash issues, police presence, and some other things that you can look at further. Basically, I think what the takeaway from all of the work that we have done is that we need everyone to recognize that there is an issue with homelessness, with not only in the city of Waukegan, in the county of Lake, in the state of Illinois, and in the country. And that we can best begin to meet those needs by making sure we have open communication, that we understand what they're talking the same language, and that we work together to move forward to try to connect people with services that are available.
During the implementation phase, what we propose is an ongoing commitment from the coalition to oversee progress. That is, to continue with meeting both with the city and with PADS to ensure that improvement is made and that changes are made that improve the neighborhood and, of course, the plight of the homeless. Monthly committee meetings with representation from both the city and PADS, and quarterly progress report to Mayor Cunningham and the alderman and Pat. Because, as I said before, a report that simply sits on a shelf and gathers dust makes no progress. Anybody that would like to find out more or to read the full report, it's on the Lake County Coalition for the Homeless website. And I think the one in brief is also on the website, is it not? And if you'd like to become even more involved, part of what Lake County Coalition for the Homeless does is a yearly count, a point-in-time count that occurs each January. And this is a little plug for Brenda. If you'd like to do that, it's fun, but it's hard. It occurs on January 30th. During that month, all of the continuums of care throughout the nation do the same count. And what they count are those people that are unsheltered and homeless, and offer them assistance. And it helps us to first understand the condition of those that are less fortunate than us, and also to offer assistance to those individuals. But starts, where are we starting this year? Oh, at the Permit Center?
You can get information on the website.
It's on the website. But it's the evening, well, the night of January 30th. Has anybody done that? I think a few of you have, haven't you? Yeah.
Before the meeting, Attorney Long jokingly said to me, "So Matt, you got that all figured out? You got all that homeless situation done?" The point we want to make here is this report is not the end, it is the start. It is the information that we have so that we can move forward. We can't say the work is done. The work is ongoing, will always be ongoing. Great strides have been made in dealing with the veteran homelessness from the national perspective down to the local perspective, but we really have to keep working and doing all we can to meet the needs. Any questions you might have?
Questions? Yeah. The information I gave is the information I got, so.
Oh, we also say that there's this report is on the Lake County Coalition for Homeless website. There's a press release. Brenda, do you want to say anything else about it? No. What do you got?
Oh, the summary brief is available, which is just an executive summary of the report if you don't want to read the full report, and both are available on the website.
We have some copies here, I think. We have some copies here, and we're going to link. We're going to link that website from our website as well. All right.
So we look forward to
we'll create a
continuing
link
to
for
work
that.
with you on these issues.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. We'll turn the lights up. Further, I do appreciate the Lake County Homeless Coalition for being so diligent in this report. Alderman, I know if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to go there. We've seen some improvements, and I think we have some more work that we have to do. But as you said, this is a start, and I think there's a start that was sorely needed. It's cleared up some misinformation, but more importantly, it gives us a start about giving the right information. So again, thank you to your team, Brenda over there, and we'll do. I like the monthly and the quarterly meetings. I'm pretty sure we'll go from there. Are there any questions from the alderman?
I just want to say thank you for getting this started. We know this is not an easy issue by any stretch of the imagination, but I think by getting this going, hopefully we can maybe start down the road of fixing this. It's not ever going to be fixed 100%, but we have to try to do something for the people and for the community and everything. And so I thank you, gentlemen, for your information.
I would like to say we're very pleased with the support and cooperation we've had from the mayor's office, and we will continue to work together and let you know on a regular basis how things are moving along.
I think we all want to, I don't want to say a solution because that's not really what it is. I think we just all want help in dealing with it, and I'm glad you guys have taken on that role. So I thank you for that. Thank you.
I will add, both of us also agree that this is not a Waukegan problem. This is obviously a country, but for this, selfishly saying, this is a county issue as well. and we're going to be working together how to resolve this, at least assist with it on our end. We all do our small part. We'll go from there. All right. Anything else? With that being said, again, thank you very much. If I don't see you, and I don't think I will, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. All right. Item number 5. A motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Bolton, to approve the monthly treasurer's report. Are any questions or comments from the treasurer?
No, it's filed every month with the clerk. Anybody can come access, they could access at my office.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed and carried. All right, everybody, just for the audience, we're going to go with an omnibus approach to items number 6, items number 7, and items number 8. We're going to take them separately, respectively. There's a motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsom, to go omnibus with items 6A through 6G. Are there any questions to the motion? Just to be clear, for those who are listening at home, Bob, a real brief of what the omnibus simply means.
Omnibus just means a group vote on a bunch of topics that are deemed non-controversial by the board or the council.
Okay, which were also vetted in committee, just to be clear. All right, Alderman Valco.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 6A, a motion to approve purchasing authority not to exceed $25,925 with Client First for services for the May 1, 2018 to April 30th, 2019 fiscal year without the need for a formal bid due to the nature of the services provided per Section 2-458, subsection I-5, funding from the line item 100-103-724438. Before I go on, just so the audience knows, the committee voted to go ahead with all of these, so I'm not going to say that every time I do this here. A motion to authorize the Information Technology Purchasing Authority of $41,000 for purchases and services obtained from CDS Office Technologies via the joint purchasing contracts for the 2018-2019 fiscal year, charged to several line items. Item C is a motion to authorize the Information Technology Director to change from Call 1 to Comcast for telephone services effective January 1, 2019. As a utility services, the arrangement is exempt from the competitive bidding requirement pursuant to Section 2-458, subsection I, subsection 8, out of various line items. Item D is a motion to approve a contract with H.R. Green Incorporated for a not-to-exceed amount of $507,231 payable from Series 2018 Water and Sewer Revenue Bonds for professional engineering services relative to the design, project management, and construction administration of several projects relative to the water treatment plant, totaling $401,418, charged to line item 555-160-27018, and booster stations totaling $53,097, charged to line item 555-916-027691. Item E is a motion to approve a contract with Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley Incorporated, consulting engineers for a not-to-exceed amount of $382,900 payable from a Series 2018 Water and Sewer Revenue Bonds for professional engineering services, including development of a water master planning model in the amount of $176,000. And this is going to be charged to line item 555-916-027066, and the engineering and design of high service pump replacements at the water treatment plant in the amount of $206,900 $900. Charged to line item 555-160-27018. Item F is a motion to approve a joint contract with Baxter and Woodman / Bowler LLC for a not-to-exceed amount of $4,170,000 payable from Series 2018 Water and Sewer Revenue Bonds for design build services relative to several projects relative to the water treatment plant, charged to line item 555-160-27018. And the last one is item G, a motion to approve a lease agreement by and between the City of Waukegan and New Singular Wireless PCS LLC for a period of up to 1 year commencing November 16th, 2018 and expiring November 15th, 2019. And Mayor, I so move, sir.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Are there any questions to the motion? So the aye vote will be to go with the omnibus vote for items 6A through 6G. Roll call, please.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried.
Your Honor, item H was held over till the next finance meeting, which would be in next month, 4 weeks.
Okay, thank you. All right, item number 7, which is Public Works. That items will also be an omnibus. That would be items 7A through 7E. That's motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Seager. Are there any questions to the motion? Alderman Newsom.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item A, motion to authorize the proper city officials to approve a renewal of the waste hauling contract with Advanced Disposal. Please see Exhibit A in the contract for pricing. Funds to be charged to line item 218-1218-24420 and line item 218-1218-24421. Item B, motion to authorize the proper city officials to approve purchasing authority in excess of $20,000 with Russ Trucking by granting a good faith waiver per section 2-458, subsection I, subsection 7. The city's year-to-date total is $22,907.94. And it is estimated that the approximate amount of $43,000 may be spent with this vendor as multiple departments purchase from this vendor. Funding currently charged to multiple line items. Item C, motion to authorize the proper city officials to approve purchasing authority in excess of $20,000 with Kirchhofer Trucking by granting a good faith waiver per section 2-458, subsection I, subsection 7. The city's year-to-date total is $19,658.43, and it is estimated that the approximate amount of $32,000 may be spent with this vendor as multiple departments purchase from this vendor. Funds currently charged to multiple line items. Item D, motion to authorize the proper city officials to approve purchasing authority in excess of $20,000 with Lakeside International Truck by granting a good faith waiver per section 2-458, subsection I, subsection 7. The city's year-to-date total is $22,367.89, and it is estimated that the approximate amount of $40,000 may be spent with this vendor as multiple departments purchase from this vendor. Funds are currently charged to multiple line items. Item E, motion to authorize the proper city officials to approve a waiver to the competitive bidding process per section 2-458, subsection 1, subsection I, subsection 2, bona fide operating emergency, and approve payment of the invoice for an emergency sanitary sewer repair on Buttrick and Brookside. It should be Buttrick and Brookside to Capanella and Sons for an amount not to exceed $10,445.31. Funds will be charged to line item 555-9130-24438, and I so move.
There's a motion and second on the floor. Any questions to the motion? Again.
Mayor? Sorry, no question, just want to comment when you're done.
Alderman Villalobos.
I just want to mention, there was a lot of discussion regarding the waste contract through advanced disposal, and then one of the things that was brought up was mattresses and having the bag mattresses. So the representative from advanced disposal stated that they're working on trying to get those type of bags available through them in the future, and find ways to be able to get residents to get access to that, because as most of us have seen in Waukegan, there's usually, you'll find a mattress in the most randomest places in this community. And so just ways to do that. And other things that I think would be helpful through this contract agreement is to kind of pick out some of those things that are really relative to the residents and information they commonly wouldn't know, and then try to do maybe some sort of brochure or leaflet in conjunction with advanced disposals to send to the community members, let them know like about the recycling, about the tires, about the mattresses. Another thing I've also noticed that every ward's gonna be able to get a dumpster 1/4. So 4 dumpsters throughout the year to do like a big kind of community cleanups within the wards. So things that we should be able to advertise regarding our waste disposal here in Waukegan. So just something I was thinking about during the committee meetings that'd be beneficial to get that information out to residents. So that was my comments. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Operation Clean Sweep is what we call it. All right, any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May. Aye.
Okay, item number 8. Again, omnibus. We're going to go with items A through C on item number 8. There's a motion by Alderman Tempest, second by Alderman May, to go omnibus with items A through C. Alderman Tempest, could you read those, please?
Motion to adopt ordinance 18-0- an ordinance amending ordinance number 18-0-55 adopted May 22nd, 2018, establishing the compensation of non-represented officers and employees of the city of Waukegan by providing a uniform allowance for certain positions. Item B, motion to adopt resolution 2018, a resolution ratifying the collective bargaining agreement made between the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150, Public Employees Division, representing the public service, non-supervisor, and police auxiliary employees in the city of Waukegan to be effective May 1st, 2018, and to be terminated on April 30th, 2021. Item C, motion to adopt Resolution 218, a resolution ratifying the collective bargaining agreement between the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150, Public Employees Division representing the Public Works Supervisors employed in the city of Waukegan, effective on May 1st, 2018, and to be terminated on April 30th, 2021. And I so move.
All right. There's a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Item 9, there being none. Item 10, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Bolton, to approve vendor payments dated December 17th, 2018, a total amount of $2,799,456.90. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Item 10B, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman May, to approve regular payroll dated December 7, 2018, a total amount of $1,567,345.15. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Seager, to approve The elected officials' monthly expense account, civil service stipend, payroll dated December 7th, 2018, a total amount of $10,141.66. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
A motion by Alderman Bolton, second by Alderman Newsome to approve T. Jones Civil Service retro payroll dated December 7, 2018, total amount of $2,499.48. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
A motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman, Mozio to approve E. Heitler's PBLC retro payroll dated December 7, 2018, a total amount of $1,965.87. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Villalobos to approve MAP Teamsters PBOC 52 hours plus comp time cash payout dated December 7, 2018, in the total amount of $84,857.51. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Newsome, to approve PBLC holiday buyback payroll dated December 7, 2018, a total amount of $10,065.08. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Motion motion by Alderman Tempest, second by Alderman Bolton to approve non-union SEIU vacation cash out payroll dated December 7, 2018, a total amount of $40,004.75. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Seager to approve Sworn Police Uniform Allowance payroll dated December 14, 2018, a total amount of $122,030. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Motion by Alderman Villalobos, second by Alderman Newsome to approve all raffle sales and application. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. And the reason I didn't do the omnibus on there, because those were payouts and dollar amounts, and I thought they needed to be taken individually, just so everybody knows. Items 11, there being none. Items 12, closing items, there being, I'm just kidding. Alderman's time. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Valco.
Thank you, ma'am. Everybody, happy, and please have a safe holiday in the next couple of weeks. That's all I have.
Alderman Taylor.
Thank you. As we enter this holiday season, and more importantly, a new year, I'd like our community to step back and take a look at themselves and see the new year as an opportunity to be a new you. What I've seen over the last several months, both by our residents and more importantly, by our leadership, has been nothing short of disrespectful. Just over the last month, I've watched pastors come and complain about how the community is being treated. While we can argue about the towing situation that was involved in this, I see the underlying issue as these pastors felt they needed to be heard, and they needed to come here for all of us to hear what was being said. I think, again, it's about the behavior. Last week, I watched my residents get beat up by both our mayor and an alderman. I watched people who the last thing they wanted to do was come up here and publicly speak. I sat here as one of my residents was shaking so bad that I actually felt that she was going to faint. They didn't come here to be obnoxious. They came here to tell you what they were going through. To my dismay, and quite frankly, disappointment, they were accused of getting their facts from Facebook and questioned if they went to other taxing bodies. How dare we as leaders do that? They came here about their property taxes. They came to the right place. This is where they needed to address that issue. I want us as leaders to understand that it's our job to hear. You're our ears on the ground. You tell me and everybody here what we don't always see, and I thank you for that. I'm not saying it's always something we want to hear, but without you, we don't hear the things we need to hear. There are times that, as leaders, we have to be tough. We have to make tough decisions. And for anybody up here who knows me, I can do that. But I also feel as leaders, there's times in our lives that we have to learn to lead with compassion and empathy. These people were losing their homes. I can't sit here and be tough, and I'm sorry for that. If that's not what you want from me, but there are times that I'm going to sit here and listen, and I'm going to hear the compassion and empathy in their voices. As this new year comes, I hope that you've listened to what I've said about respect, because it's a two-way street. If we want you to come up here and treat us with respect, then let's go forward and us as leaders do the same thing. This should be the time in our lives where we have that come to Jesus moment, or as Oprah would say, that aha moment, where we look at how we treat each other. I'm asking the mayor and the aldermen as we enter the new year, let's lead by example and treat our residents with the respect that they deserve. Again, it's just really important to me that we learn to hear each other and not talk to each other. We're one community. We will always be one community. We are not only Bulldogs, we are Blue Devils, we are Wildcats. We are a community, we are faith-based, and let's treat each other as such. That note, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday and a happy new year. And again, let me remind you, it's a time to be a new you. Let's come back with changes. Thank you.
Alderman Bolton.
I just wanted to say, I was just thinking about the comments that were made, and I agree, we all need to work together. And I know a lot of times, you know, we don't do everything you ask us to do, but I can say we're working as a team to work towards achieving what is asked of us. So with that request, I say, you know, pray for us, because we need truly a power greater than ourselves to achieve what needs to be done. Secondly, I'd like to, many don't know I'm a chaplain for the Lake County Jail, and tomorrow night we will be doing caroling. And I just want to acknowledge the Women of Destiny of Lake County chapter, founder Don Johnson. And these women have written over 90 letters and cards of encouragement, and I will be delivering them tomorrow. So, and all throughout the year. So I solicit anyone that wants to write letters of encouragement. I'll be more than glad to deliver those to our inmates. Thank you.
Alderman Seeger.
I'd just like to say a few words about the city of Waukegan, and I've rode through each and every ward. I oversee the second ward. With all the Christmas decorations, our city looks pretty good, and I like it. Christmas is very special to each and every one of us. The second ward, well, Michigan Avenue, move over. Go on down 9th Street, go on down 8th Street, all along through the second ward, east, west, north, and south. You did a fine job. And I want to thank all the families, the kids, the moms, the dads, grandmas, the grandpas, everybody involved. You're making the city of Waukegan really look good. and I feel a lot of love and joy. Everybody, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, a safe one, and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Alderman Mozio.
Yeah, I'll touch on the Thornton gas station quickly. I was a little surprised myself, because I know I'm getting old, but I don't remember ever approving machines at a gas station. That is, I guess it comes under the truck stop of the state law. So they did not need to come to us, because usually the biggest hurdle for most places is they need a pour license. They have to be able to pour alcohol, pour beer. So that's why they have to come here. We have to grant them that, and then they get the machine. That's why all the restaurants and places like that have them. Well, they don't have a pour license. They're not serving booze in there. But they qualified because of the diesel fuel under the state of Illinois. So that's the state of Illinois giving them the license. Actually, before our ordinance kicked in, they had an application in. So that's how they ended up with those machines. I myself, I'm pretty liberal with the game. If they want to go in bars and taverns and restaurants, I have no problem with that. But gas stations, come on now. Especially ones that are open 24 hours, that's not a truck stop. I mean, I love Thornton's. I'm glad they went there. They've increased the value of the land. And we need 9 more things like that on corners to increase the value of the land. But you're not passing for a truck stop. Come on, man. That's a gas station on steroids. But it just doesn't, I mean, I don't know, there's probably nothing we can do, though. Hayes out of the horses out of the barn, I guess, as they say. But I guess they just sort of circumvented us, went to the state, and that's how it happened. I'm not very happy with it. But I guess it is what it is. Maybe the Corporation Council can shed a little bit more light on that for the public. Was I right in what I said, or am I sort of all over the place?
You're pretty much right on,
Thank you.
Alderman. The requirements of a truck stop under state law are that it's all 10,000 gallons of diesel a month, which isn't very much when you think about how much a truck can hold, a couple hundred gallons. And that it occupy 3.5 acres of land, which Thornton's does.
Correct.
Even though most of it's vacant. And you would think that a truck stop would have to have a paved parking lot for the 3.5 acres, but that's not what state law says. And the final requisite is that it has to have adequate parking so that the trucks, which the non-existent trucks in this instance, have enough space that they can pull off, and there's room around it, and their parking lot is large enough for that. So they met the requirements, and they got their application in just before the city council voted to start regulating video gaming. And that's why they were grandfathered in. Now, the other half of that is going forward in the future, we do have some regulations in place. They would have to come before us if there is another truck stop that looks like, or somebody wants to start a truck stop someplace in Waukegan. The other side of that coin, of course, is that there isn't a lot of land that's really suitable for that sort of an operation within the city. So it may be something that if we see it again, it may be quite a while before you have to face it one more time.
Thank you. And just as my point, so we have a corporation, Thornton's, who beat us to the punch. Usually they are always one step ahead of the government on things like that. But then, again, and I'm not beating my colleagues up here, but then we all said we wanted to regulate it some way, but then we regulate it by distance. So I can't have one next to somebody else. But then we didn't let it, but then it's allowed to go into a truck stop. That just, some little restaurant guy wants to put 5 machines in to help ends meet that nobody really cares about. But then it goes into a truck stop that's open 24 hours, a gas station on steroids that's open 24 hours a day. And I'm not beating up Thornton's. God bless them. Like I said, they've been a shot in the arm. But you see the things that sometimes you have to wrestle with. And, but that's my 2 cents on that matter. But thanks for the clarification, Counselor. Thank you.
If I can add one last thing, just so we're all clear, every time the State Gaming Board gives a license for video games, and even under our license, they can that that store, that enterprise, that bar, that restaurant, that truck stop can have 5 video games.
Right.
Or 4, 3, 2, or 1.
It's up to them. Yeah, it's their discretion, how much
That's
they
right.
want. Correct.
And the other thing about truck stops is because they don't have a pour license, they can actually be open 24 hours, as goofy as that sounds.
Well, I'm sure most truck stops are. I mean, come on.
But I mean, they can have the video games in operation 24 hours, where a bar would have to turn them off when the alcohol
Right.
turns off.
Correct. Thank you.
Alderman Villalobos.
Yeah, just a short, brief one. Just want to say it's great to see Austin Cantu get awarded Waukegan Proud Award. That kid is amazing. I think he's going to go on and do great things and hopefully come back to Waukegan and do great things. So I just want to make note of that because I've had, like I mentioned before, I've had the opportunity to work with him for a couple of years now. The other thing I want to speak about briefly is about the pastor speaking and this idea of people being rude. And first, I just want to say, I always welcome residents to come and speak to City Council. I often invite residents to City Council. Oftentimes, from my look on the situation, when residents have a grievance or a concern and they don't know exactly where to turn, they come to City Council to talk to us. And I've always encouraged that. I've never felt that student or residents, you know, when we tell them, oh, talk to us, you know, you should have talked to us before council so we could know about that concern. Like, to me, that's just kind of trying to quiet people, and I don't believe in that. Like, people have a right to speak. And we have it's incumbent upon us to listen to that and hear those concerns. So I will never tell a resident not to come up to the podium to speak. I've had residents and business owners in the ward say, well, I have an issue, I have a concern, I'm gonna take it to City Council, kind of almost as a threatening demeanor to me. And I was like, no, that's great, bring it up, because this is probably something my colleagues need to hear too. Because we do work within our wards, but it's better when we can work together on an issue. And so in a situation like that, I'm like, yeah, come to council. That's not a threat to me, it's actually a concern that it's better to be heard by everyone as opposed to just me as your single alderman. So, again, I encourage people to come and speak and say what they need to say so we can hear it. Often in my decision-making process, hearing residents speak out about their concerns really does help me. And I've said that multiple times. So, everyone that comes up, and thank you for coming up. It does take a little courage to speak up and speak out to people and voice your concerns and voice your opinions. So, yeah, thank you for your courage for that. Finally, I'd just like to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. Have a safe couple of weeks during this holiday season, and looking forward to 2019. Thank you so much.
Alderman Newsom.
I'd just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year as well. And also, we just passed a new contract for the garbage starting December 26th. You can start putting your Christmas trees. If you have the real Christmas trees, you can start putting them out on your parkway, and they will be picked up. There's some other things that are in the garbage contract, as Alderman Villalobos mentioned. We're trying to get that out to you as soon as possible. A lot of things that are going to help our community. I know we've witnessed some evictions, or people move and they leave a lot of their things on the parkway, and then the neighborhood has to see those things because the garbage on the parkway, people move out, leave it. The owner of the property doesn't come right away to take care of that. Now we don't have to wait. We can get Advance to come in and help with Public Works to get those things taken care of. So there's a lot of good things in the contract that we passed tonight. So with that, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you next year.
Your Honor, along those, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just thought, I'm old, I'll forget, but maybe we can make a change to the website, the changes in the garbage contract, what's available now?
Yeah, just to let everyone know, the part of the contract is them putting together something so we can put that out there for everybody, just to let everyone know. So that's part of the deal, the brochure they're going to put together for us versus us trying to find out what it is, let them put it together, we take a look and put it out there on the website.
Will we be able to put that in like water bill, a gas bill, water bill or
We'll check
something like that?
Yeah, we can do that. It might even do some more creative things to it, because we really want to get out that,
Create flyers.
one, the tires is really killing us. We're picking up more tires with Public Works time, when they can drop them off at our Public Work facility. So we can really start moving toward that, dropping some of these items off, particularly things like that in your electronics. That'll really help us out, so we can then kind of concentrate on other things.
And mattresses.
Yeah,
We
the
will
mattresses.
not be picking up mattresses at all unless they are encased in a mattress cover pad.
And I think we're gonna do a good public relations, communications out there to drill that down, from that, as effective today, January, February, just get them used to it. And we understand the health concerns with that, but we're gonna really try to use the paper, like schools, the water bills, et cetera, to get that out.
And
But we certainly need to do that. I
And the
agree.
Public Works will try to have a place out at Public Works that if anybody wants to bring their own mattresses, so we don't have mattresses sitting out where people are dumping them. We'll have a place out at Public Works where they can drop off their own mattresses like they do tires and TVs and things like that. That would help, so we don't have to be picking them up on the street.
Yeah, and we spoke with code enforcement. They're going to get those brochures, kind of hit some of their targeted areas where a lot of these things happen. So, but it's incumbent on all of us, from the alderman, myself, and then the public. Let's get this information out. It's necessary. All right?
That's it.
Alderman Tempest.
I'd like to pass.
Alderman May.
Thank you. I also would just like to make a comment about Austin Cantu, the young man who was here this evening. This past weekend at Art Walk, he also organized a student art show at the Karcher Gallery and brought in his fellow students to display their art, and then they were playing music, Christmas music in the basement. This kid's really amazing. He's a ball of energy, so he certainly deserved that Waukegan Proud Award. Next, I would like to apologize for my comments that were offensive to the Pastors Alliance. My last intention is to be culturally insensitive, and so I take your words seriously, and I apologize for that. Please know that my passion is really behind the fairness of towing, and it has to do with the policy, because I feel like if we have good policy, we can remove the ability of rogue contractors abusing our citizens. And it is true, the majority of cars that get towed in our city are people who are black and brown. It has to do with our demographics or whatever. I recognize that. And as much as I want to know the black and brown experience, I don't. I'm white. And so I'm very sensitive to that. And so I apologize profusely for being offensive. I think that if we have good policy wherein we pick contractors under a fair and transparent method, we remove the ability for contractors who will abuse our residents. And so my intent is good policy, because good policy promotes good government, and good government protects our residents. And that's really what I'm passionate about, is the policy behind this whole towing thing. Every time a new mayor comes in, and that's what I was saying before, new towing contractors pop up because we don't have a policy under which how we pick towing contractors. And then there should also be in that policy, and I've been talking to a lot of people about it. I've talked to Corporation Counsel, I've talked to the chief, both of the chiefs. I probably talked to 3 or 4 different people from the Waukegan Police Department over the last 2 weeks about this issue, trying to get a true understanding of what are things we could do to protect our people as far as, and apparently they are supposed to all be charging the same amount. And as far as towing, I do understand it. What I'm suggesting, when you call your own towing agent, if your car is disabled and you're with your car and you have a towing agent that you'd like to use, the police will let you call your own person. If your car is abandoned, the police are going to call the next person on the list or the person in the geographical area. So I do understand how it works. And I guess I was being a little off the cuff when I said that. But if you're in your car and you say, hey, I've got a brother who has a towing company, the police are going to let you call your brother to come tow your car. But once again, back to policy. I think that's why policy would absolve this whole argument that we have about the towing contractors and about trying to keep an eye on how they're charging. I just think good policy would promote the protection of our residents. And then finally, as far as the allegations that are before us, I've been asking, I've been talking to a lot of people. I actually had an appointment with that said contractor today, but it got canceled at the last minute. And I was hoping to have more information to go to his facility and understand how his operation works. He said he was willing to show me, you know, how his crew is directed when they're called for a tow. So he had a medical emergency, so I plan to follow up with him to understand how his business is done better, and hopefully we can come up with a good policy in the future to protect our residents. Sorry to be so lengthy. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right, here we go. Here we go, everybody. Real quick, I know there were some comments about the tax rate in this tonight. And let's be clear, there's never any intentions of anything. When there's a debate, there's a debate. Believe me, I get debated every Monday. I understand what debate is. It's just part of the process. And from a courteous standpoint, I like to think that all of us who come up here are very courteous to each other. Sometimes we get animated, and that animation is to be curtailed either by myself or corporation counsel or sometimes by the alderman. It is what it is. But I don't think there's ever any disrespect from the leadership, certainly not from this chair. And watching the last 18 years, being an alderman in the first ward, now the mayor, every mayor has been up here. So every now and then we get a little testy. But I'm gonna tell you something, this is Waukegan. You gotta be Waukegan tough to understand that. And no one can appreciate that more than myself. When I used to watch from that end over there, I used to say, oh my goodness, how can the mayor do it? And I mean from Durkin. Unfortunately for Mr. Drew, it didn't last like we would like to. Then from Mr. Hyde, to Mr. Sabanjan, to Mr. Motley, now to Mr. Cunningham. We have residents that speak up, speak loud, and we've always encouraged that, and we'll continue to encourage that. However, when we find that there is some information, and I'm gonna call it misinformation, that's been disseminated, and it's been disseminated particularly by us as leaders, then we must have the facts correct. That's all. It's not to be disrespectful, non-disrespectful. I respect, have always, will continue to be, and I expect for our leadership to do the same. That's just who we are. When we leave this podium, there's going to be laughing, happy, and hugging, whatever. When it comes up here, I have been a proponent of sticking up for the first ward of Waukegan my entire life.
That's for sure.
That's the respect I gave him as he was walking out. And I used to think that the first ward, Market Street, Utica, now MLK, McAllister, I used to think that the city neglected those areas. I used to think that. When I became an alderman, it wasn't about neglect. Come to find out, it was some of the things that from an infrastructure standpoint for services are being provided. Some of the best of those was being done in the first ward. You become educated. And that's what being a leader is all about. Recently, I read in the paper, Warren Township, it was after our tax levy had been passed, zero. It was not Libertyville Township. Big article. They're going for a $14 6% increase on their property taxes. Libertyville Township, school district that is. Warren Township. And there were some who opposed it and criticized. Let me show you what Libertyville Township, well, I'm correct, what Warren Township, New Sun article, Warren Township High School approves new debt to fund capital improvements, including a new roof and updated tennis court. This is the front page. They are investing in their communities. When Waukegan does it, we're doing wrong. I'm here to tell you, and let me step back, Waukegan School District, and I'm not knocking them. By no means am I knocking them, everybody. I'm just telling you what it takes to operate our communities. The Waukegan School District went up 2.23%. They understand. We can no longer be that community that sit back and wait 30 years before we start doing things to improve the quality of life in this community. Cannot happen. And I want to be very clear to all the residents. I am going to invest in Waukegan. I'm going to do it because it's time. It is time that we start doing what is necessary to make our community like over there in Pleasant Hills, Buckley Hills, out there in Midland. I want the inner city of Waukegan to be just like that. And we deserve it. It's going to take a little bit on us, from the state and from the federal. I'm excited about where we're at. I'm excited about the aldermen that we have in here, because one thing I will say, they care. And they care about this community. So thank you. I hope it doesn't go down as I'm ranting. I'm just passionate about what's going on in this community. And when you come up to that podium, speak your mind. Margaret has been doing it for umpteen years. Never gonna, she don't say she hate me or dislike me. It is the passion that she has for this community. So be it. Mr. Blanks, I've been an alderman 18 years. Same thing. Come on. We need to hear you. With that being said, I wish all of you, to all of my aldermen, everybody up here at the podium, to all of you, a very Merry Christmas and a joyous New Year, and happy holidays, everybody. Take care. God bless. Motion by Alderman Temple and second by Alderman Bolton to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Oh, the scarf, the hat, scarf, and glove drive. Don't forget.